there is so much that you can do. In fact, my role, my oath of office has 4 functions. Number 1, I swear allegiance to the people of Kenya and to the Republic, to discharge every responsibility given to me by the Constitution and the law. And number 3, to advise whenever required. That's the language of the Constitution. Whenever required, the President on matters that he requires advice. And number 4 is to serve people equally and fairly. So I have discharged that responsibility to the best of my ability. And I have made my position in regard to the contracts very well known to the right officers. It is not a matter I would have wanted to take it in public for purposes of making sure that government is functional.
All right, I have just one last question on this before we move to our next topic of discussion, because you've informed us about, from what I understand, and you can correct me, Honorable Ruto, about the limited sort of powers of the Deputy President. Is that what you're saying in respect to making these contracts public? You said, and I quote, "I can only do so much as a Deputy President."
Absolutely.
Okay. However, in previous television interviews, you have stated that you and the President remain accountable for everything that has been done for this. So which is it, Mr. Deputy President? Are you responsible for not making these contracts public? Because you in the past have said that you and the President remain accountable and should be asked about everything that happens in this country.
Precisely, that's why you're asking me, and I have answered you. I have said clearly that to the extent that my duty as Deputy President is concerned, I have discharged my responsibility. I have given advice to my boss on many issues, including that particular issue. So I have given him my advice, enumerating very well that it is the constitutional position that every contract is made public. I have given that advice to the President as is required of me. So, but you know the buck stops with the boss.
Honorable Deputy President, let's now move to the next topic of our conversation this evening, and this will be on a matter of national security. You were recently in Elgeyo-Marakwet County, where you promised the people of Kerio Valley that you would do everything in your power to secure them. You've also been visiting other parts of this country, Marsabit, Baringo, Samburu, Laikipia, West Pokot. More than 300 people have died in the last 7 months alone in this country, killed by armed bandits. Livelihoods are lost. Children have not gone to school. Children have been killed. Kerio Valley residents have even petitioned the UN Secretary General, saying that their government has failed to provide them with security. In your manifesto, you say that security is a cornerstone of protecting people's livelihoods. Why has the government of Kenya, in which you've served as an assistant minister, as a minister, as a deputy president, been unable to secure the people of these counties?
I quite agree with the feeling of many Kenyans. In fact, it's yesterday. It's not even last week. It's yesterday. I was in Elgeyo-Marakwet, and one of the leaders there told us we have buried 114 people in that neighborhood. So it is indeed a live and serious matter. You have seen me in when we came into office in 2016. I called all the leaders from Baringo, Elgeyo-Marakwet, Pokot, Samburu, and we had a serious leaders meeting in my office in Karen. And because of that meeting, for about 3 years, we went round, we mobilized all the governors, and we provided National Police Reserve in all those areas. And the situation was under control. But when we came into the handshake arrangement, a false narrative, very unfortunate false narrative, was rolled out that, oh, all these National Police reservists in Elgeyo Marakwet, in Baringo, in West Pokot, were actually a militia that William Ruto would use at some point. And all the National Police Reserve were withdrawn. A very reckless act. And with the withdrawal of the National Police Reserve, the situation went south. And that is why I was saying yesterday in Elgeyo Marakwet that we will do whatever it takes. And today, there is a program to build security outposts. And I'm saying, whatever it takes, even if it means bringing the military and military installations to support the police in some of these areas. In fact, you just reminded me, yesterday I overflew a huge tract of land where 3 years ago I was standing there and it was all maize. Yesterday, they haven't planted there for the last 3 years because of insecurity. So insecurity is not only causing our children not to be in school, it is causing starvation, it is causing death. Yet, people want to treat it casually.
But Honorable
let
Deputy
me tell you, let me just allow
in
me
the last 3 years, Mr. Deputy President, you have not spoken out about the issue in Kerio Valley. You have not said anything about the killings that have been taking place, like they told you, 150 people buried this year. You spoke about it only yesterday. Where have you been in the last 7
I have
months?
always been there. In fact, if you go and ask those people in those regions, I have always been present. We have buried many of those people with our own money. We've taken many of those people to hospital with our own money. I have deployed my personal resources to deal with that situation because I know it was a political, a political agenda. You know, the withdrawal of the National Police Reserve was really an unfortunate act, but because it was intended to punish William Ruto, you know, never mind that many people lost their lives, is a real tragedy, but that is the nature of our politics in Kenya.
Honorable Ruto,
unfortunately.
Honorable Ruto, you're saying that was done to punish you?
What other explanation would you have? You go withdraw security personnel in the whole of that whole region, you know, you subject people to...
How would that punish you, Honorable Ruto?
Because I am the one who had led the whole, in fact, I am the one who had taken charge. In fact, I was there every 2 weeks in that region. I was there every 2 weeks. I am the one who mobilized the resources. I am the one who mobilized the security men, the identification of the National Police Service. And so it looked like it was about me. It was never about me.
Did you mobilize those resources on a personal basis or as Deputy President?
As Deputy President.